Welcome to School of Bakery Arts, and today we learn how to make French macarons. There are so many recipes of macarons out there. I tried quite a few but found most of them either too complicated to execute or too sweet in taste. So here I am sharing an easy recipe for flawless macarons. The ingredients required for making this recipe are almond flour, icing sugar, egg whites, castor sugar, vanilla essence and some gel food color. In a bowl, sieve together almond flour and icing sugar at least 3 times because you want the dry ingredients to be really fine to ensure smooth and shiny top. Few recipes suggest pulsing the dry ingredients in a food processor, but that's not really necessary if you sieve it 3 times. Instead, a food processor might release butter from the almond flour, making the mixture greasy. The two types of sugar used for making macarons are castor sugar and icing sugar. Castor sugar is less coarser than the granulated sugar. The particles are really fine and hence it's also known as superfine or baker's sugar. It's made by blending granulated sugar in a food processor till it reaches a finely ground but not powdery consistency. On the other hand, icing sugar has powder-like texture and is also called powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar. It's made by finely grinding the granulated sugar along with some amount of starch like potato starch or cornstarch. In a separate bowl, add egg whites and whisk it for 3 to 4 minutes on medium speed. Now before you start this step, make sure that the eggs are at room temperature and the utensils used are free of any sort of grease. Once the mixture reaches to a stiff peak stage, gradually add castor sugar in it. Wait until it dissolves into the whites before adding in the next portion. So basically, here we are making meringue, which is nothing but a mixture of stiffly beaten egg whites and sugar. Meringue can be of 3 types: French, Swiss and Italian. For this recipe, we have made French meringue. See the description box for information on other types of meringues. You know it's ready once all the sugar gets dissolved in the egg whites and you get a glossy and shiny mixture. Now add in food color and vanilla essence. The two things that we don't want our macaron batter to come in contact with are moisture and grease. So in order to avoid moisture, I recommend using gel food color instead of the liquid one and oil-based vanilla essence instead of the one with water base. After adding in the castor sugar, I mixed it for exactly 3 minutes. Once the meringue is ready, add in the dry ingredients in 3 batches. Using a spatula, gently fold the dry ingredients into the egg mixture using cut and fold method before adding in the next batch. Cut and fold is a mixing technique where you add in your dry ingredients in wet one. Then with the help of a spatula, you cut through the center and then scraping from the sides and bottom, you fold in the wet ingredients on top, thus mixing everything properly without deflating the air bubbles in the meringue. Folding breaks the existing bubbles into smaller bubbles instead of deflating them. For this recipe, I cut and fold it 26 times to get a smooth batter. Once the batter is ready, we'll start the macaronage process. Macaronage is a technique of working the macaron batter in this way until you get it smooth and shiny with a lava-like flowing consistency. This will happen only when you press the batter on sides like this and get rid of all the big air pockets. Place the batter in a piping bag as soon as it's ready, as it may change its texture with time. I prefer silicone mat over parchment paper to pipe the macaroon shells on as it's foolproof. Whereas if you use butter paper, the macaroon may stick on it if left for a long time to cool down after baking. Also make sure to clean the mat properly as we do not want any grease or oil on it. To get perfectly round shells of equal size, hold the piping bag steadily at 90-degree angle with your one hand and with the other hand start pressing the batter at a constant pressure and speed while counting. To get a 1.5-inch shell, I counted till 9. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can make shells of various sizes using this technique depending on how long you count. Drop the tray onto the counter at least 20 times to help the macaron spread and take its shape. This will also force the unwanted air pockets in the batter to come on top. With the help of a toothpick, deflate all the air bubbles to ensure smooth top after baking. Rest it at room temperature for 30 to 45 minutes before baking. This will help the moisture to dry out, hence leaving the top dry. So when you gently touch the top after resting, the batter won't stick to your finger. Bake it in a preheated oven at 150 degrees Celsius for 14 to 15 minutes. Once it's out of the oven, place the tray on a wire rack and cool it completely. An ideal macaron shell should have bubbly texture at the bottom, also known as feet. and its top should look glossy and smooth like this. In terms of texture, it's supposed to be crispy on the outside and should crack when pressure is applied on it. Whereas on the inside, it should be light, delicate, airy and slightly on the chewy side. You can experiment with n number of flavors to fill inside your macaron shells. Just remember that the filling should not contain high amount of water in it. And so I won't suggest using whipping cream for the base of your filling. Instead, you can use buttercream, chocolate ganache, cream cheese and marshmallow fluff. In this video, I have made the filling using strawberry flavored marshmallow fluff and some strawberry jam in the center to cut out the sweetness. For more detail on filling, please check the description box. Macarons hold their shape when chilled, so refrigerate them for at least 1 hour before serving. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. Please subscribe to my channel for such recipes. Thank you for watching.